Okay, cool. So in this video, we are going to be testing the create new block method that we just created. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to export our blockchain constructor function, because we are going to want to use this constructor function in our test.js file. So to export this constructor function, we will go to the bottom of the file and we will say module.exports equals our blockchain constructor function, and we'll save that. Then we'll go into our test.js file, and this is where we will be testing our create new block method. The first thing we want to do is import our blockchain constructor function. So we will say const blockchain equals require defile blockchain. And this is simply requiring the blockchain.js file from right here. Cool. So now we want to make an instance of our blockchain constructor function. So we will say const, and as an example, let's just say Bitcoin. We will say const Bitcoin equals a new blockchain. Cool. So now if we console log out Bitcoin, this should be a blockchain. There is no data in it currently and no blocks, but it should log out as a blockchain. So let's save this and let's run this test.js file to see what we get logged out. So in the terminal, I'm currently in my blockchain directory, and our test.js file is in our dev folder. So we will say dev/test.js, or excuse me, we're going to say node dev/test.js, and this will allow us to run this test.js file. So I'm going to press enter, and we get our blockchain logged out, and it has an empty chain and empty transactions, which is exactly what we expect. Cool. So that worked. So now what we want to do is we want to test our create new block method. So underneath where we create our Bitcoin blockchain, we will say bitcoin.create new block, and this method takes in 3 parameters. It takes an announce, a previous block hash, and a hash. And for these purposes, we can kind of just pass in whatever we want for right now. So announce will just be a number. We'll say it's this number. And then we will create a dummy hash for our previous block hash, which will be this. And then for our hash, we'll make another dummy hash like that. Perfect. So right now we are creating our Bitcoin blockchain, and then we are creating a new block in our Bitcoin blockchain. So when we log out our Bitcoin blockchain, we should have 1 block in it. So let's save this file, and let's run our test.js file again. Cool. So you can see we have our entire blockchain data structure here, and right here is the chain property, and it has 1 block in it, or 1 object in it right here. And it has the hash and nonce and previous block hash that we passed in, and it has a timestamp. It has the index of 1, and it has no transactions because we haven't created any transactions yet. Cool. So that works just as it should. Now let's test it even further by creating a couple more blocks in our chain. So we'll copy this line, and we'll just run this method a couple more times. So for this one, we'll make the nonce this number, and we'll just make some other hash here, and this will be some other hash. So that's 1 block created, 2 blocks created, and we'll make a 3rd block created right here with some nonsense hash here and another hash here. Cool, and we'll save that. And now when we run our test.js file, we should have 3 blocks in our chain. Cool, so we have our entire blockchain data structure, and inside of the chain property, which is this array here, you can see that we have 3 separate blocks. Here's 1, here's a 2nd block, and then here's a 3rd block. And those are all the blocks that we created with our create new block method. So our create new block method is working just as it should.